I gotta check. Did my camera turn rate get reset or something? It should be 7. Where is it? Yeah, it's 7. This doesn't feel like 7. It feels so slow. Alright, here's the thing I'm not ready for. Please don't be here anymore. Please. You know what? Let's just run through real quick. Aw, now it's gonna let me in. Ah, damn it. The dude's already aggroed. All I want to do is get the key real quick. Oh. Just like that, huh? Wait, no. I have the key, though, to get out. Locked by some contraption. Get the item, maybe? Curved sword talisman. Not what I wanted, but... I got the item. Now all I have to do is go right in real quick, get my runes back, and then pop out. You know, once I'm done with that mess. Not the spell I wanted to use. It takes like 2.5 seconds to turn around. Oh man. The tight quarters in this game has definitely gotten me very nervous. Why is that one's eyes gluey? Kind of feel like I got more runes for that. I'm not super sure. Weathered straight sword. Mm. Straight sword with a rather short but wide blade. Simple to wield, was known as the sword of the people. Though the Erdtree styling is still visible, time has not been kind to the sword, now merely a shadow of its former self. So it's like slightly, it's literally like same damage, but that's interesting. Guard boost is lower on the rapier, but the negation is higher. Gonna run in there real quick and run on out. So now I should be able to turn around and open that door. And this will take me as far as I've gotten going this path, even though I've gotten further in other directions. terrible jump. Ugh, I almost missed the gap. I didn't see it for a second. I think to the left here, there's a dude who pushes you. Yeah. Or, you know, does his best. What? Are you just turned around? Alright, this looks like the gameplay preview area now. Welcome back, Lukewarm. Hope you're comfy for at least half an hour, so bring back Jarvis. That's like build number 2 or 3, but I'm planning a Jarvis of some sort. It's probably going to be closer to Dark Souls 3 Jarvis, which is probably my overall favorite incarnation. But almost certainly happening. Also, hey Orbit. It's interesting to see all the people coming back to watch me play Souls. It makes me wonder how many people were following me or not. And right now it's like a day old, like it's a day follower only chat. So you know, I'm guessing people are still following. It's one of those things where I've been trying to figure out for the longest time. Man, some of this turnarounds looked exactly like Ring City. Like some portion of this just totally felt like Ring City for a second. Which is an interesting thought considering the name Elden Ring. I did all this work to try to figure out if the follows that I got back in the day were real. Oh, hello. Oh, please no. I'm gonna just take a dive here. Hopefully I survive. Oh shit! That's what's going on. I know what the deal is now. So they talk about like, oh, you know, dexterity or something increases your fall distance, and I think it's driven by your stamina. Not that I think dexterity gives you stamina. Appreciate it quite. Also, hey. Yeah, that's right. That's what you get. To fall like a dummy. I would never fall like that. Oh, you took fall damage too? Oh, that's too bad. Gone for almost a decade? Okay, yeah. The face cam stuff was a mess. I lost so many viewers for that. I'm too ugly. My ugliness is only fermented with time. I got that one, okay. But I got a bunch of followers from like Dark Souls 2 especially, and I figured they were just dead accounts. Because like, if those followers watched me play anything besides Dark Souls 2, then I would have a lot of viewers. There's no mechanism down there. Oh, that's a distance. Oh my god, the distance is huge. I can see the bottom. I like to think that I'm interesting with the other games that I play, but maybe people only watch Souls and nothing else. These guys alive? No, they're just... Well, one of them is literally a targeting dummy. Or no, it's armor. It's an armor stand. Started following with Dark Souls 1. Yeah, so in it's funny that the first build that I did for Jarvis was basically a hybrid build, and it wasn't as focused on parrying, but I just got so good at it that when I went, the funny thing is that build, I first made it when I ended up getting Dark Souls on Xbox 360. I think I get gifted that by Soul Invader back in the day. Pretty sure. I think it was something like he said. I think it might have said something like, if I get it on 360, he'll buy me a copy of the game. I think it went down like that. I'm not too sure. Something to that effect. And the 360 version was so superior to the PS3 version in like almost every way. And that's why I decided to craft a more parry-focused build, because I could. The input delay was way lower because PS3 input delay is higher. Because of the way that their input is processed, it's just always a frame extra. I think it's because they were using like earlier Bluetooth tech that just didn't really work super great, and Microsoft was using like regular wireless, like more like specialized wireless tech. Just like how you can get Bluetooth headphones or like miscellaneous wireless headphones, and the miscellaneous wireless ones could be really good, but they're not like super compatible with everything. I mean, they're not using Bluetooth. Do I have 3,000, okay. Keep pumping intelligence. So, regarding this build that I'm doing, I should have pumped faith, you dummy. I've gotten into the habit after Dark Souls. Wow, this looks like this is definitely. Oh, there's dudes down there and everything. What was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. After doing parry stuff. Oh, hello. You're fucking kidding me. Oh no. Come on. Well, I died right next to... It's fine. So I started Dark Souls with a build that was pretty lame and crap and ended up basically being a giant dad build. And then I put that down. And then I made... I think I tinkered with the spellcaster for a bit and it wasn't great. Or... I don't think Jarvis came around until the third character I made when I made it. No. You know what it was? No, I made the build that basically became a crappy giant dad. And then it occurred to me Dex is the better stat for physical damage in Dark Souls. And I made something that was using a katana for the longest time. An Uchi katana. And then it occurred to me that, oh, now that I want to level this character up a bit, I want to do Dex Int. And that's when PS3 drivers came about. And then afterwards, that's when I ended up doing the Spellcaster, which is like the third major build that I did. Things are aggressive. The Spellcaster initially was invading the forest at like level 18 taking forever to kill people, but eventually getting it. Because at that low level, you couldn't just blow people up. Yeah, this is literally Gallium. This is the updated version of, or this is the Dark Souls, or the freaking Elden Ring version of Gallium so far. But it's not really an official build so far because I don't even know I don't know what direction to take the character stats yet. Besides, I want some faith for stuff. Shit. Fucking birds. Eventually, I ended up realizing that I could dodge and time things well enough to just blow people up with spells. Why would I want to lock onto that dude in distance? So I ended up going with a I ended up just, like, armor didn't matter anymore because I could blow people up. It was basically I would one-shot people. So I could have put a little bit of armor on that build and been fine. Where's the third one? I could have put a little bit of armor on that build and been fine. There you are. Ah, I saw you. Fucking bird. I can't turn the camera quick enough to make this work. Damn it. Oh. I fat-fingered it. I like the pouch a lot. I think needing two hands maybe makes me want to have Estus as my my regular quick bar items instead. I don't want the claw as much. And I'm currently playing with a Switch controller, and clawing is not as fun. I just want to have clicky trigger buttons. That's all I want. But yeah, regarding the spellcaster build, after having so much fun with it at the end of Dark Souls 1's lifetime, that was almost the primary build I was playing because I got bored of parrying everybody all the time. Good, I got both of them. I couldn't reestablish my lock. We're fine. It's good. I ended up having so much fun with that I ended up deciding that I wanted to look into spellcasting when Dark Souls 2 came out, especially because part of the reason why I got into these crit builds was because nobody had really refined it very well, and I basically set the standard for that. Ooh, I figured such. Alright. After setting the standard for crit builds and refining that down into something so strong, I was looking for something else, and spellcasting was it. And I had a ton of fun with Dark Souls 2 after I worked out how to make a spellcasting build good, because it's so hard to optimize a PvP build for spellcasting. Is there like a lever or something? That basically every game since I've been wanting to make spellcaster builds. The only reason why I didn't try to do a spellcaster to any real degree in Bloodborne was because Bloodborne doesn't really have magic. That actually works. Are you kidding me? So spells expire that far out. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. Look at you. You climbing. Oh no, it's one of the big ones. No, 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 no. Actually, exception of the dude with a torch, they're not really that scary. No, don't hit me. Late Dark Souls 3, making hybrid builds and figuring out how to make that work for how weak magic and shit was, that is why I eventually went back and made what became Dark Souls 3 Jarvis. Oh shit, okay. Because I figured out a few different builds that were just really strong with just a very carefully built character. And you also had to be extremely good. There was no way to... Like, those builds were too hard to play for anybody else. The same way... So remember when I made the slow walk build? The Dark Souls 1 slow walk build? That was the final frontier. I started first by just determining, oh, there are scenarios where... defense in Dark Souls 1, if you hit like 450 to 500, you suddenly get... it's an I think it's an inverse logit curve or something, the way defense works. So where it's like... If you exceed the center point in either direction... That's interesting. If you exceed the center point in either direction, the benefit... You basically get massively increasing returns for whatever you're trying to do, with a cutoff because you can only get so many points. So, for example, defense maxes a little bit above 537, and damage maxes at some value. I don't even know. I have to put the staff on the other hand now. You start getting extra damage because you're also hitting, your damage doesn't get really high, but you get like big rewards for getting really high AR values. But it's not practical to get really high AR value. Wow. Yikes. Jeez, they're tearing up the trolls and feeding them to dogs. Oh, there you are. Yeah, that was the thing from before, that the dude... Yeah, this is on the way to Contract, then. This is in the gameplay. Oh, hello. Not quite Lothar Knight. Oh, no. Excuse me. Are you coming? So I made this fat roll build called Bubba because I thought it was a big dumb thing, and I figured I'd make a... Did he fall? I'd make a big dumb idiot build that could just cut through anything just by virtue of just taking hits. And I thought it was a funny name. I actually saw it on a... Somebody had written it down somewhere. On a sheet of paper or something, and I thought it was funny, and I stole it. Mimics fail. Use FP? Oh, it's Chameleon as an item. Okay. I'll try it once. Oh, cool. So I had this build that you could attack it with a two-handed katana swing, and shrug it off like nothing. You could get backstabbed with a Hornet Ring katana. It would do like less than 400 damage. It was just a really good nasty build. And so I ran that for a while, got bored of it. afterwards, I eventually hit the point where I was like, man, can we take this to the final frontier? Can we just make a PvP viable slow walk build that literally cannot roll? And after doing a bunch of research, I figured out that that was the case. It didn't even have as much defense. The trick was wasn't the defense at all. Instead, you had the stats to wield things like Havel Shield. And that was what made it work. So you'd have Havel Shield, and then the swap was to Black Knight Shield, and then you'd have like 7 different weapons you'd be swapping around with. It was like Gravelord Sword. I think I can make this full. Try to aim onto the bodies, I hope. Oh, look at you. Oh, shit. Yeah, that was what happened. Banished Knight. Altered. Altered, huh? Thick full set of armor, covering the entire body. This helm was worn by knights who, whether by misfortune or misdeed, were forced to abandon their homes. These fierce warriors were each and all accomplished. Perhaps that is why, despite their territorial losses, they were all still named knights. Okay, so it was Golemax, Butcher Knife, Lump of Flesh. I read that stuff in a second. Gravelord Sword, Ornstein's Spear. Oh, really rarely, the Silver Tracer, and like 1 or 2 other weapons. And the reason why it worked is because you had weapons that could dead angle really well, had long ranger projectiles, had certain swing behaviors that were really beneficial. Butcher Knife had the lunge. Same thing with the Silver Tracer. Silver Tracer actually, there were 2 different things you could do. I can't remember how this worked. There was some stutter stepping you can do, which you could only do while over encumbered in Dark Souls 1, where you would move faster than slow walking if you basically jiggle the stick to force the pivot. Oh, that was what I was calling it, pivot walking at the time. I remember now. Oh, jeez. Okay. Please don't come through here. I think this is a shortcut. But yeah, pivot walking was a faster movement method for walking. And if you could master all that stuff, if you could master basically pivot walking, good weapon swapping, which I wasn't great with, if you were capable of blocking dead angle attacks, especially dead angle Wrath of the Gods, you eventually could hit a point where you could play a viable slow walk build and it would work. The only thing that there is only one exact scenario where that build could not fare if played very well. It was just... I want to see how much damage I do if I hit this thing. The range is pretty big. I can chip this if I have to. It would have been a Sunlight Blade washing pole, not Dark Moon Blade. It specifically had to be Sunlight Blade because it needed to be lightning damage, which you didn't have really great. Like, so for example, if people tried to use pyromancies, you'd use a Black Knight shield. If people tried to use any sort of magic, they would just use you'd use the Havel shield. If they tried parryable stuff, you'd parry it. I mean, you know, you had to play it very well, but you always had very strong options that made you very threatening. And the funny thing is that because of the amount of poise in the build as well, Highland Axe, you couldn't really just poise mash it because the build would always win. You couldn't backstab it very easily because there's a certain technique for walking with a slow walk build that makes it impossible to backstab you. I ended up working that out a while back. There's a certain movement pattern that if you maintain it relative to the opponent, you will never get backstabbed. And then it becomes a game of chicken, basically, of like, make sure you're using a weapon. Like, you basically create a scenario where you get into, like, you back up such to where you get to a safe spot where they can't get behind you, and then you can attack. Assuming you're not... Like, typically with a slow walk build, a lot of your strategy was just fighting close to obstacles you could back into, because if your back is against the wall, you can do whatever you want, and there's not really much that can get you. It was literally washing pole, Sunlight Blade washing pole, mostly running R1s, two-headed running R1s, because everything else you could even trade with. And you get, like, it wouldn't just be any bleed weapon, Sunlight Blade, because they had to have the range. There's a shortcut. But yeah, so that's kind of where my thought process is with Dark Souls builds. It's like, if I couldn't, oh my god, alright, we'll go back up then. If I couldn't be satisfied with just regular like crit builds and just playing fast, I was going to start doing these weird, wacky, elaborate builds. And spellcasting tended to be that 99% of the time. It was something nobody ever really focused on, and something that nobody ever really got good with, and nobody ever believed in. And once I figured out how to, like, you know, crits can be great in Dark Souls 3. Okay, done. You know, done that. Bored of it already. And then it was like, okay, well, spellcasting was already good at a certain point in Dark Souls 3 when you did certain things, and I got bored of that. And that was when I started. Oh shit, I know where we are. Are you kidding me? Am I literally... No, I don't know where this is. This looks like an area in the overworld, but it's not. Hybrid builds are the hardest to optimize in Dark Souls 3 because your damage starts really low. And that's when I started focusing on that. And that's when I made Dark Souls 3 Jarvis. And somewhere around there, that's when I made the Vitality build for Dark Souls 3 as well. When initially people thought, oh, there's no way to make a good defensive build in Dark Souls 3 because the numbers don't work. And at like meta level for PvP, it's not possible because damage scale is too high and defense doesn't follow along with it. And that's why, like, my general theory with all of this stuff was that oh, I have another talisman too, I think. Nothing good, though. My general theory ended up basically being... crap, that wakes up everybody. Or... yeah, eventually it does, yeah. At lower level, defensive builds do work. These guys are sleeping on the job. Oh, literally sleeping on the job. It's funny, getting that close to the Erd tree. It feels like they're pointing you in that direction, but either you won't be able to finish it, or that's so much the beginning of the story that, like, there's so much more to do afterwards. So Dark Souls 2 was interesting spellcasting wise because it was like the best overall, like, best flavor of it so far. In that it was, you had a lot of variety and a lot of strength at the very beginning of the game. What is it? Oh, I need the key for it. Meanwhile, in Elden Ring so far, it starts stronger than Dark Souls 3, but weaker than everything else. Alright, rats. Are you fucking kidding me? Take my chances with the rats. Do I need more than one of these? Incantation head, Oh, there's no physics. That's funny. There's no physics on the phantoms. Did you see that? I feel like I should pick these pots up. Like I could use them for fire bombs, but they're not. So the dude had a flail, but the flail was to stick it out because they don't run physics on the phantoms. That's funny. I'm too curious. I need to see what's in here. I might have more than one. I don't know. I knew you could buy them from one of the vendors. Locked door in the castle. I want to be sneaky and open stuff up. Godslayer's seal. What are the stats required for this? 27. Sacred seal of the Godskin Apostles inlaid with obsidian. Said to represent the manipulation of black flame. This catalyst enhances Godslayer incantations. Oh. Well. Godskin prayer book. I know who to bring that to, probably. Got some ideas? hella cloth physics, man. Oh, I know where we are. Why, yes. We skipped that path. I had found out so many cool things with how spellcasting works in Dark Souls 2 that they had to nerf it into the ground to make sure I wasn't too strong. Where are we at? 320? 3200? Spellcasting has not been the same since Dark Souls 2 got nerfed to the ground. There was so much cool stuff. Lingering Flame used to be really, 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 really good for defense. Soul Shower was amazing, but it was only especially great. They nerfed it and made it not do what it did. But what it used to do was if you were about 1 to 2 room heights above the target when you cast it, every single projectile would hit. It would just stun off the person. It was difficult to dodge. Festering Bloody Finger. I think these are from when you kill somebody in PvP. Attempts Invasion. Oh, these are cracked red eye orbs, right? You can get a full one somewhere. Well, let me read it. This is my namesake. This is my legacy. I gotta read this. Attempts an invasion of another player's world. If successful, you'll arrive as an invader. Shriveled Finger is blackened with blood congestion. It seems to have been chopped off rather unceremoniously, as you might be wont to do. BRB, I need magic. I need mana. Oh, look at you being the polite one. Oh, they actually do have a... That's interesting. They do have a slide down animation. One thing I really wanted to make work in Dark Souls 3 were simple and blessed builds. Where basically you had less overall damage, but you would have effectively pseudo infinite mana or HP. Oh, I'm so good at finding bugs. I'm just way too good at finding these bugs. But yeah, so simple builds. The problem is that the FP regen was so low that you needed to find spells that were extremely FP efficient, had very, very low stat requirements, and did great damage. So you'd end up doing things like Great Heavy Soul Arrow and Great Soul Arrow and Frozen Mist, Pestilent Mercury, that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, for the blessed builds, you had to maximize your regen with like 2 blessed items, and then also the Sun Princess Ring and all this other stuff to increase your regen. And you had to... Can I even hit you? Are you just dead? Is this gone? This is... Going up here is such a stupid mistake. Oh, he's... Oh, okay, now you figured it out. You had to balance basically your strength and faith to have some like healing spells and stuff, but you couldn't really push it very hard. So you had to like have like these weird like mid FE efficiency heals and regen and gentle prayer and stuff just to make that build work. And it was good, but it wasn't amazing. FP dreams are over. Well, what was the point of going up here if I didn't get anything out of it? Wait. I gotta put a message. Nobody would have seen this. So on this first day streaming it, I said I was going to go to bed early, or at a reasonable hour. I streamed for an hour and change before the power flickered and cut my internet for a minute. And then I streamed... I streamed another bit more. It's been almost 5 hours since. Apparently I have no self-control at all. Oh, the damage in these is actually... I didn't expect them to be that high. Well, look at that. Make myself another amount than I can make. And they're giving me butterflies and mushrooms to make more. That's great. Nomadic Warrior Cookbook. I didn't read many of these items, actually. Oh, it's the next one. Stormwing Bone Arrow. Probably bigger ones, though. Better armor one. Holy water stuff. Got some maps. Black Flame. And Black Flame Blade. Interesting. Incantations of the God-slaying Black Flame are written within. It's interesting. There were enemies that were like black knives or something, black swords, black something, mentioned in the intro cutscene. And the funny thing is that they appear to. This keeps coming up over and over again. Oh, damn it. I might have to concede. I don't know if I can beat all this stuff to, like, with so little, Oh, that's that's a complete flamethrower, okay. How about... No means no. No means no. No also means no. No scaling on those. I wonder if I can warp out. I can craft. I think I've hit my limit for how much I can do here. Well, depending. No Means No is also a band that's very similar to Jesus Lizard. Have you ever heard of them? Very reminiscent. I thought that they were the same band, like the same group with a different name. Ah, if I get up there, you see what that is? Salvation right over there. Have to survive the fall is all. And not get hit in the back of the head by this dude. Crap. I can't hit R1. Oh, you fucking asshole. Nearly killed me. We're gonna hoof it. Let's get this first, though. Well, they're old people bands, so it makes sense you've never heard of them. Oh shit, this is the way in. You get shot in the back. I know where I am now, I think. Or I don't know, actually. I have an idea. Okay, I'm not where I thought I was. It looks similar, though. Yeah. Sign went away. I'm assuming you're... Well, I don't know. It's a funny thing. I was going to say, I'm assuming you're not at least as old as I am. But now I'm not too sure, because you've been following the stream for so long. If you were allowed on Twitch back then you may not be that far behind. Oh, man. I should really... 4647. Whoa, did the stream glitch out? Did you see something on the screen on the OBS window? I could swear I was turned off. I was looking at the chat or something, and I don't know what visual glitchiness I thought I saw. Am I just getting so tired right now after playing this game for so long, and I only slept like 5 hours last night? I'm not sure. It'll show up in the VOD, I guess. I could swear I saw some hella glitching out visually on the screen. Turning 30 this year? Okay, yeah. Well, but Jesus Lizard was old when, like... When I was listening to them, Jesus Lizard was also old. I could swear I saw some glitchiness, but I don't even know what I was looking at. Yeah, well. I think it was something like, maybe it was over here. Whatever, it'll show up later. I'll find it. Anyways, I really should stop. I am kind of feeling sick, because I've just been streaming this too long. And I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Not your music? It's kind of chaotic, ridiculous shit. It's hard to explain. It's sort of like, it's like if someone is unhinged on an alcohol-fueled rage, stomping around an empty room. That's kind of their general feel. I thought they were pretty well known. I don't think they were popular. I thought they were just, you know, it's a crazy raving madman music. It's just kind of like half drunken screaming, but it has a good feel to it. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a let loose, fuck the everything kind of mentality, but not like necessarily the lyrics or the intention, just the style, the sound. It's sort of like it has the same kind of musical feel as you get from the gameplay and the story and the presentation of Xenoclash. Its shit is weird and wild and ridiculous. Actually, the story of Xenoclash is amazing. I want to go back and play... I want to replay the first game and actually finish the second one. because the story in the world is actually cooler than I thought it was. And I only found out after reading back into it